Today we're in the Public Safety Center. We're going to show you our canine kennel. This is where we can keep dogs at a temperature control while the officers and their handlers go to meetings, go to court, something that they need to do, they can store their dog for just a short period of time. This is gearing up for the Canine Golf Scramble. Last week we had Canine Week. Coming up we have the Canine Golf Scramble on September 27th at Cody Crossing. Let's take a look inside. You don't see any dogs in here because this is not where we store canines. The canines go home with their handlers. But this is used during the day when an officer might have a meeting, court, some type of period where they need to keep their dog secure while they're not having their dogs in use. You see they'll have hot and cold running water, fur traps. We can give them baths in here. Behind me we have a location to store their food and any supplies we have. Again, this is not used for any lengthy storage or when the officers are off duty. This is only for a temporary period, but it keeps our canines safe. Thanks for joining us this month. Now we're going to go do a recap of August 2025. We're going to take a look at our stats, what happened internally in the police department. So join me as we go talk about that upstairs. We're going to jump right into stats. We're going to review our stats. These are month over month, year over year stats, August of 2025 compared to August of 2024. As we go through here, we're going to highlight what has increased, what has decreased. And as you can see on the graph, theft was down, burglary was up 1, so essentially the same. Robberies, we had 3 robberies this month versus 1 in 2024. And shootings, we had 4. Last year we had 1 in the month of August. Keep in mind, a lot of these crimes that we're looking at, Part 1 crimes, the thefts and burglaries specifically, a lot of those times we can attribute those to maybe unlocked doors, people leaving their cars unlocked, items that are of high value in places where people can see. So sometimes those can be avoided. So we're reminding everybody, please lock your doors, please keep things out of your car passenger compartment and put them in your trunk if they're valuable. And then also think about a lot of times when people have things stolen, they are friends or acquaintances of the person who's stealing from them. So that's how burglaries happen a lot of times, is somebody becomes aware of something in a house that they desire, they know the person and they'll break into their house. So those are typically how our burglaries happen and our thefts. So there are some precautions you can take. Please keep that in mind. Mental health calls were about the same with animal control, just a few more animal control calls this month. DUIs were up again, and I am proud of our officers for that. I really push to make sure that we are doing our level best in arresting people for OWI. It's completely reckless, irresponsible, and I thank our officers for that work because it is difficult, it's hard, it's a lot of painstaking work and detail, so I thank our officers for doing that tough work. We want to specifically go over our shootings. I had mentioned there were 4, and we consider these major crimes. A lot of our resources, a lot of our divisions specifically target and identify shooting incidents, and we put a ton of resources into this activity to make sure we are driving down violent crime and getting people who are shooting guns off the street. We had 4 shootings this month. We did a good job of making arrests, and I'd like to profile the 4 shooting events. On August 7th, a man named Charles Stutz entered the Tate and Lyle plant on the north end of town and held 2 people at gunpoint. He shot one in the face with birdshot from a homemade shotgun, and a short time later, he was caught by the police. He was arrested for attempted murder ×2. On August 16th, a shooting occurred in the parking lot of Ace's Pub on the south end of town. This was stemming from an argument between 2 people who knew each other inside the bar. There were 2 arrests in that event, Uriah Taylor for battery and Tyree Sutton for criminal recklessness and dealing narcotics. There were no injuries in that event. On August 17th, patrol responded to a shots fired call at the Overlook Apartments, again on the south side of town. Gary Ann Thornton was arrested, no injuries in that event. The one shooting that we are still looking for leads on and have still an open investigation happened on Underwood Street. On August 29th, officers in the area of Underwood Street found shell casings in the roadway and several impacts at a residence. Again, that case is still under investigation. That is being worked by our street crimes unit and our detective unit. We had several internal events in the month of August. We held a swearing-in event. We hired 2 new officers, Tanner Dold and Eric Brands. We welcomed them to the department. They got a ton of training ahead of them, so we thank them for their good attitudes and the work they're going to put in. James Jarrett, an officer, earned a Gold Merit Award. A Gold Merit Award is the highest level of award that we bestow on officers. That means that he risked his own life to save somebody else. And Captain Shear, Randy Shear, was pinned and promoted to captain. We also had 2 10-year anniversaries. We celebrated Sergeant Stone King and Officer Snyder. We thank them for their loyalty, for their years of service, and they both do a lot of extra work outside of their normal operations, so we thank them for their hard work. We had sergeant promotions. Adam Ransom, David Chapman, and Kent Hesher were all promoted to sergeant. They're on patrol shifts, and they're out of their training session, and they are now in charge of shifts, so we thank them for their work that they're doing. That's a very difficult job. It's probably one of the most difficult jobs in the police department. You have the youngest officers, and you're doing the best job you can to mold officers into doing this complicated job. So we thank them for what they're doing. We went to the ILEA graduation. That's the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy graduation. Officers Harker, Harwood, McCoy, and Jew all graduated. That's just part of the work that we do to train officers. That's a 4-month period. There's a lot more than 4 months that goes into training officers. So they're well on their way to being independent officers working on their own. They're at different stages, but congratulations. That's a thing that can be proud of, getting through that training. We held National Night Out. It was a great event in the park. Lots of other agencies came to participate. A lot of the public was there. The park looked great. We thank the parks for helping us out. A wonderful event. We also held Battle of the Badges at Loeb Stadium. And as you see, we won 32-17. The police department did. That was a great event. That was to raise money for our police foundation and the fire foundation. We're going to release those numbers of what we raised, but that was a great event, a lot of turnout, and we hope to do that next year. And again, the police will win next year. We have brought on board 2 interns from the Greater Lafayette Career Academy. These are kids that go to the academy. We hope that they want to have a career in law enforcement, so we give them a little bit of exposure, completely in a safe environment, where they can kind of assimilate and see what the police do on a daily basis to maybe get a career in law enforcement or generate some interest in law enforcement at a young age. In September, we're looking forward to our K-9 Golf Scramble. This is going to be held on September 27th at Coyote Crossing. Thank you for joining us for our August 2025 recap. Please remember to join us on our Facebook page, our Instagram, our website, and we look forward to talking to you again next month.